it do, shawdies? It's your girl Caitlin Brown, and we are back with another video. Thank God y'all didn't come here for my singing. So we are here with another coloring video. I know you guys are excited. I am too. So let's get into the new Sharpie merch that I got. Y'all know your girl came with it. Y'all know your girl came with it. Y'all know your girl came with, bam. Look at this. Look at this. Y'all not ready for it. Y'all, the mystic gems. The mystic gems 24 count ultra fine print and ultra fine point. And y'all really thought your girl didn't come with bam. I got them also in fine point. I'm so excited to use it. Okay. So, and you guys already know I have my trusty dusty. Now, y'all are like, how will you fit all of that in there? I can't fit all of it in here. Look at them. Woohoo! I can't fit all of them in here. I actually have some over here. Some Sharpies over here too. You see, I have these over on my desk. I have these, and they can't fit in here. And you guys already know I have my case and I have my box too. Okay. So, what? Okay. So, for the Mystic Gems, I am preferring, I'm gonna do purple. Y'all know I always do like, I'm gonna do these colors. I like these colors. Like these, you know we have to do gray because he's a wolf. And I'll do black. Yeah, I'll do these in this one. I think that goes with wolf-esque vibes, hopefully. That's what I believe a wolf vibe would be. We're also going to do those lighter color pinks. These pinks are like a gray mixed with pink. So yeah, we're going to do those. We're also going to go in the Big Daddy. You gotta get our gray. That one. I really don't use these ones a lot. Maybe like, I don't know what this one is. We'll use it. We're gonna use this one. We're gonna use that one. We're gonna use metallic. Oh, crap. We're gonna use metallic. Y'all like, you got 15 of the same color. I know. Get out of my business, please and thank you. Cause that's my business. What Sister Tab said? Sister Tab said it. Cause that's my business. Don't nobody be questioning Sister Tab, and if you do, why would you be questioning Tabitha Brown? Tabitha Brown. Jesus, why would you question her? Y'all know we first cousins. We're not. Hey y'all, so today I want to talk about my journey with dancing in honor of National Dance Day. I just want to give my personal dance story and how dance has saved my life and how sometimes dance has hindered my life as well. But we'll get into that. Don't forget to like, comment, and share and subscribe. Y'all know I got to get that out of the way first. But okay, so let's start it. I started dancing when I was 2 years old. I have always been a very, in tuned with music child, and dancing was just a way for me to interpret the music that I heard. And I really learned a lot from my sister Shelby, who I believe is one of the best dancers in the world. Honest to God truth, she never ceases to amaze me with the things that she can do with her body. When I was younger, I remember watching her just taking in how quickly she would learn, how precisely she would execute movement, and how disciplined she was in the craft. I mean, my sister, even though she had some like formal training, it was just natural for her to be able to move her body in certain ways, just by looking at people. And I definitely picked that up from her. So shouts out to Shelby for really being my original dance teacher, because if it weren't for Shelby, I really don't know where I would be right now. Shelby was the first person to introduce me to doing the moonwalk, sliding, gliding. Like, honest to God truth, Shelby, you to go, for real. So I started dancing at 2. I learned from watching my sister Shelby, and even at 2 we would put on performances for my mom. Now I know what y'all are thinking. You always bring your mama up. Well, that's because she is in every aspect of my life. When it comes to performing, entertaining, my mama is slick. What is her name? Dr. Maddie Moss Clark. That is, if y'all want to see how my mom used to train us, how she used to be so hard on me to become the best dancer possible, how I got the work ethic that I have now, y'all need to watch Matthew Knowles, Joe Jackson. Not the beating part. She never beat us. But the discipline, yes, she instilled that discipline and that work ethic in us. And Dr. Maddie Moss Clark. My mom was a mixture of all 3 of them. Her famous saying is, if you can't do it correctly for the Lord, then you shouldn't be doing it at all. Oh my gosh, the flashbacks. So anyways, at 2, I was 2, my older sister Shelby was 7, and my other older sister Whitney was 5. And we would put on performances for my mom. Now, she accepted these performances because we were little. I'm gonna get to when I turned 5, okay? But at 2, she accepted these performances, and she accepted them somewhat. She would say, y'all didn't rehearse that well enough. You need to go back and try it again. At 2, y'all. She would say that we need to go back and rehearse at 2, knowing good and dang well we don't even know what choreography is. We're just making stuff up. And she swears to God that all I used to do was twirl. She said I would just spin in a circle with my thumb in my mouth because I was a thumb sucker. So I don't really remember that, but I do remember putting on performances for her since that very young age. And so my mom really saw that we had a knack for performing. And even when we were in church, I remember, just dancing in the crowd to the music, and people would look at me like, oh, she's so little, she's moving her head, she's moving her legs, so my mom was like, oh, okay, she was just taking that into account, right? So when I turned 4, I think, my grandmother, who was also the pastor of my church at the time, wanted us to actually have like a praise and worship team, and at the time we had a lot of kids in our church, and so my grandmother was like, we just need to make up a praise and worship team. I think it was either my grandmother or my mom's idea. I really don't know which one, but somebody said we need to make up a praise and worship team, and the other person signed off on it. So at the time we were Shama kids, and when I tell you guys, like I said previously, my mom and the work ethic, I really have never worked so hard. And I'm telling you this, like, as a 5-year-old, we would have practices every Saturday, and I think like Friday night, because we lived with her, so we would have practices Friday night, and then every Saturday we would have practices all together with all of the kids from the ministry. And my mom was tough as nails. Let me tell you, I really do appreciate, us being, me having this work ethic now. But when I tell y'all, she was tough. The lady was tough. We couldn't mess up. Everything had to be precise. We couldn't mess up. No, you bet not talk back, because you know what talking back did? It got you squats. Okay, it got you running and singing. Yes, the whole where Matthew Knowles taught Beyonce how to run and sing at the same time. We were doing that at 5. I was doing that at 5. Running and singing, doing squats and singing, exercising and singing. Yes, my mother was conditioning us, which I, thank God she did, because I never would have had that work ethic that I have now. But when I tell y'all, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life as a 5-year-old, tough. That was hard. I don't care what anybody say, that was hard. And it was even worse living with her, because in the beginning, we were just starting out. So we really didn't take it like serious. Like, it wasn't like a big deal to us. We were just having fun. My mom's infamous saying that I said previously, if you can't do it right for God, then you shouldn't be doing it at all. So you know what shouldn't be doing it at all means? No secular music. We could not dance to secular music at all. Now, we had the opportunity to dance to secular music when we were at camp. But other than that, at home, it was Christ. At home, it was all about Christendom. Okay, so we cannot listen to secular music. We couldn't dance to secular music, because she would be danged if we gave more to the world than we gave to God. And so that's what we did. And we trained like that for years. I mean years. And we performed everywhere. I have performed in so many churches, in so little stage. Let me tell y'all something. A shout out to all my small churches of the world. Y'all doing the thing. Keep doing what you doing. Them stages I don't care what anybody says. I have performed on every single stage, and I swear we had to make it work. One of our most famous, like infamous songs that we used to dance to was Victory by Ty Tribbett, right? And the choreo actually came from, y'all know how I mentioned Tamaya back in like my previous videos. Well, y'all remember when I said that we grew up with them. Tamaya's auntie Zaina had choreographed our dance to a different song by Ambassador, and we took her moves and put it in with Victory and added some of our moves to it, because her moves are the chorus. Her moves are strictly the chorus. That's everything we always go back to, but all the other moves are us. We made that, but we built on top of what she did. So like I was saying, Victory, one of our most famous like dances at all of these churches, where all of these churches were like, oh my God, look at these kids dancing, right? We had to make it work on some of them stages. Like, if the stage was cracked, if there was no stage, if the pulpit was small, if the pulpit was big, like we just had to make it work. Every time we would go to a different church, I would pray. I said, Lord, please let this stage have enough room. Let this stage have enough room. God didn't answer my prayers all the time. I believe he wasn't listening to me sometimes, because them stages were small. Okay. And I was like, God, please let the music work. Please let the music work. Because we've always been a CD MP3 type people. Like, we've never, had like a live band in our church, so we've always had like music coming from the computer, and we used to burn CDs. Don't get on me now. I know y'all remember burning CDs. Yes, we used to burn CDs so we could perform at some of these churches, and some of these churches didn't even have the equipment, so we would have to bring the equipment for us to perform, and they would strictly ask us to perform. Now, if my grandmother was preaching, she would say, well, I need my praise and worship team to come up before I preach, and so they would accommodate her, or some of them would just request for us to dance. So I went to different places and performed all the time on school nights, weekends. It was just filled with church. I mean, I would not change any of those experiences for the world, because they really taught me how to be able to manage doing schoolwork and being a performer at the same time. And the thing is that we've never, since we doing it for the Lord, we ain't never seen no dime or no paper from it. But I think the prosperities in our life have, shown how much work we put in for God at the time. So yeah, we performed everywhere and we danced everywhere. And that was around the time I was like 6 and 7, and I was getting just an influx of dancing knowledge. In my last video, I told you guys that I've been crumping and bucking since I was 5. Yes, and I already told y'all kind of like the mini story of me going to my cousin's games and watching the majorette dancers buck and imitating them. And that was just second nature for me. Bucking and crumping literally is second nature for me, because that is what I grew up on. I mean, I remember studying and watching these people dance and immediately getting it. Like, my brain was such a sponge at the time, immediately getting and understanding what they were doing. And so, no, I was never officially on a majorette team, but I still know how to do a majority of like the majorette dances. Not all that, I've never been a flipper. So don't ever think, oh, Kaylin, you gonna get on the floor and start doing flip. I've never been a flipper. I don't even like being upside down. So I've never been a flipper. I've never been one to hit the splits on y'all. No, that ain't me. But all the like, the other stuff that majorettes do, yeah, I can do that pretty well. And crumping, let me tell y'all how You Got Served and Stump the Yard changed my life. And what was that crumping movie? I think it was Rise. Is that crumping movie named Rise? I think. Y'all, let me tell you. You Got Served as a child changed my entire view of dancing. It literally opened my eyes to so much more. I still, to this day, watch the scenes from You Got Served. Oh my God. I love that movie so much. And y'all not even hip to game. Y'all not even on game. Let me put y'all on. Some of the moves Dave Scott, my boy, was doing, it crazy. And I fell in love. I literally fell in love with dance at that moment. You Got Served, top tier dancing movie. And y'all don't realize that Columbus Short was also in that movie. And Columbus Short is the main, the lead in Stump the Yard. And I love Stump the Yard too, because Stump the Yard, it just brought that fire, It really was crumping, and that's when I first saw tie-dyes. And that whole crumping scene with him and Chris Brown, let me tell you, I would be yelling, screaming at the screen, because I just felt it, that movie, top tier. So yeah, those movies really shaped me as a dancer, and I would not be where I am today if it weren't for those movies. And growing up as a dancer was kind of difficult, because I've always been a I've always been a very active dancer, and it is really contrary to my personality. I'm very shy. I'm very quiet. Many people don't know that I dance or don't know that I love to dance. And when I show them, they're always in shock. Like my peers, trigger warning. I'm going to mention bullying. So if you want to head out right now, thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Please go check out all of my other videos. So, when I was younger, I never really expressed to people that I knew how to dance. I would only dance in talent shows, and I would get a whole lot of responses. Like I said, I'm used to dancing in front of older people, so they really don't know what I'm doing. They just like, oh, she got it. She got it. But dancing in front of my peers is very different. I remember being in elementary school, not really having a lot of friends, not really having anybody to confide in to say that I knew how to dance, and just breaking out dancing in at parties, at dances, like when we had elementary school dances, and on talent shows I would dance. And what baffled me as a child was that all of the people that I considered my peers loved when I danced there. They literally loved me. Like they wanted to be around me. They wanted to be my friend. But when we were out of school, they didn't care. Not like out of school, but when we were out of those settings, they didn't care about me. They were never my friends. They didn't care, you know. They would even bully me to a certain extent, not about my dancing, but about other things. So I was definitely an outcast until the music was on, and then I was the most popular thing in the world. And it got worse. Oh my God, it got worse in middle school. Middle school was a time, Jesus. I remember being made fun of so much in middle school for literally no reason. Well, I mean, I could guess why they were making fun of me. I could guess. Because in middle school, I was trying so hard to be a pick-me. And then by the end of middle school, I was just over it. Like, I didn't care about anybody else. I was just over it. But, they used to make fun of my dancing. I specifically remember, and I really don't have a problem with saying names. I really don't. But just for this fact, I won't say any names, but I'll describe them. And if you know them, just know I'm talking about you. But there was this really light-skinned guy at my school. I never denied that he was cute, but he was very douchey to me. And he could dance as well. I've actually never seen him dance, to be honest. I've never seen him move. But people said he could dance, and I was like, oh, you know, okay. And so I would be at school dances doing my thing. And I remember this one time he came up to me and he was like, why don't you dance to something or whatever? And I didn't know at the time he was making fun of me. I was like, well, there's no music on. There's no music on. And he brought a group of guys with him. So now looking back, he brought a group of guys just to make fun of me. And so he was like, why aren't you dancing? Why aren't you moving or whatever? There's nothing on. And so when something came on, I just started, you know, doing my thing or whatever. And he walked away and he laughed. And at the time, my adrenaline was pumping because of, you know, I was dancing. I was, you know, that's my moment. That's my element. But looking back on it when I left the dance, I was really hurt. And I was really upset, you know, that they made fun of something that I know I can do. After my very hard and tumultuous time in middle school, I, for a very long time, just stopped believing that I could dance altogether. Like, I wouldn't really like to perform at church. I really wouldn't like to perform solos. I really didn't like going to dances or whatever, because I just felt, I believed them. I just felt like what they were saying was true, and I had really lost all confidence in myself. And I don't know what like brought it back to life. I think it was just finally being able to accept myself. Like my sister, I think what really like brought it back to life was when my sister said we should try out for the talent show, and I really wasn't up to it. I mean, by that time I was a ninth grader. I was a freshman in high school, and I just did not feel like I should try out for the talent show. Like, it's just gonna be the same, and you know, I thought that people just weren't gonna receive me properly, so I really didn't want to do it at first. But you know, Maddie Moss, you know, Robin, Maddie Moss, Matthew Knowles, Joseph Jackson had to put her 2 cents in, LOL. And she just kind of gave me a pep talk saying that, you know, that I shouldn't let other people dictate my choices. And when I tell y'all I wanted to listen to her and really understand what she was saying, I just didn't feel it. And she said, if you can't do it for you, at least do it for God. Because at that point I had stopped trying to dance altogether. But she said, do it for God. And I was like, you know, hey, if he gets the glory out of all of this, then it is what it is, and I can just go ahead and go through with it. So we tried out, and you know, we got it. People were like, I didn't know that you could dance like that and things of that nature. And I'm like, y'all, we went to middle school together. I'm just, whatever. So fast forward to the actual talent show date. Now, my sister Whitney was a senior and I was a freshman. She's 3 years older than me, so this was her last talent show. Her and Shelby had did the talent show before. They had killed it and everything. And so and this would be me and Whitney's like reunion. You know, we danced the talent show together when Whitney was in 5th and I was in 2nd grade. And you know, that really kind of changed my perspective of dancing altogether, because that's when I had realized that people liked my dancing but didn't like who I was, which also contributed to my insecurities about dancing. And it continued to happen my entire elementary school. And so, and I kind of expected it to happen again. And by the time I was in high school, I had a really bad anxiety. I was very anxious, very nervous, because I had gone through so many years of constantly being the butt of everybody's joke, and that puts you in a constant like state of fear, especially when you're a quiet person. Like, and it wasn't even, nobody touched me because they knew not to touch me, because your girl got hands, but they knew not to touch me. But they could say anything and I would just sit there and be quiet, because I didn't know what else to say. Like, I was like, why does this keep happening to me? Why do they keep picking on me for no reason? So by the time I was in 9th grade, the damage was already done. I was already very socially anxious, so I really didn't feel up to doing it, but we did it. And I talked to people that said, they were like, well, we didn't know you were dancing. I was like, these are literally the same people from middle school, like, that just, maybe they didn't see me dance before, I don't know, but they were like, we didn't know you could do that. When you got on stage, you know, people were like, well, what is she gonna do? And they just ended up screaming my name, right? I usually was on an adrenaline rush at the end of every talent show. But by the next day, it was nothing. Nobody cared. Like, they didn't care to ask me, you know, about my dancing journey. They just didn't care. And maybe I was, you know, too sensitive at the time, or maybe I took it to heart. But it was like, how can you love the talent that's within me but not love me? Like, how can you just not like me? And I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And I was like, I don't do anything wrong to these people. Like, I'm not one of these people that they just, you know, that just be messing with people and picking on people. That's not me. So what am I doing, you know, that's so wrong? And it was like that for a lot of years. Well, not for a lot of years, just for the remainder of my time I was in high school. I just did not care to deal with people like that anymore. And they didn't care to deal with me until I was dancing. So it is what it is. By the time I got out of high school, I really didn't have any outlet for my dancing. I was still dancing at church, and I kind of took it serious because by that time I was choreographing other people. Like, there were other people in our church, other kids in our church, and I needed to choreograph them. And when I tell you guys, I was at a high with just coming up with moves, coming up with creative styles, coming up with all these different dances. I was on top of the world. I mean, I was creating dances that I didn't even do. And shout out to the Bartons for understanding my ways. Like, we really had a understanding, like, we had a language, because they had to understand what I was trying to say, and I needed them to interpret everything that I was saying. So I was elated at the time because I had just graduated high school. I didn't go immediately into college. So I was kind of in this in-between phase, and I was just going by, and it was really helping me. Like, they really helped me know that I'm still a dancer and that I still can do this. Well, that all came crashing down when I got my first knee injury during a performance at church. And when I tell you, that was literally the worst year of my entire life. I didn't know what to do. I was just depressed. I couldn't explain it. It was because it felt like I was never going to be able to dance again. And dancing has been my comfort for so long. I remember coming home from school, from an anxiety-filled day of school, and just dancing my stress away. And I just didn't have that outlet anymore. And it was horrible. But my mom had an anniversary coming up, and she needed me to choreograph this dance. So I was like, you know what, Mama? I think I was fresh with the knee injury. I didn't get my knee injury corrected until, I want to say, a year or a year and a half later. But she needed me to do this choreography. And when I tell you guys, I was on crutches, in a wheelchair with my ACL. It was a complete meniscus tear and a near to complete tear of my ACL. When I tell you guys, I choreographed that dance to this day. It is one of my best things that I've choreographed. I choreographed the hell out of that dance. I wish I had footage, but I choreographed the hell out of that dance. And we were going through so many things as a family that it was like, you know, I felt like I had to do it. That literally pushed me out of my depression. I was still, you know, I still had my good days and I still had my bad days, but it showed me, that choreographed piece showed me, that dance showed me that I could still do it, that it was still possible. And so once I was done with that knee injury, I got it fixed and everything. I was good. You know, I was ready to get back into it, get back into the saddle, ready to just you know, just to go full steam ahead. And I was okay for, I want to say, a year and a half until, guess what happened, y'all? Guess what happened? I got a second knee injury. God dang. And I was doing the same thing. I was dancing yet again. Y'all, your girl just can't stay well. And this time I was angry. I was pissed. I was like, what in the hell? Didn't I just get over this? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong? And guess what? I went back into depression because I just felt like, okay, now it's really over. I was literally standing on one good leg, and that good leg done broke down, and now I'm just, and you guys don't realize how much, like, my balance, the confidence in my balance has just depleted since my knee injuries. I used to have very good balance. I'm a dancer. My balance has always been impeccable. One thing I forgot to tell you guys is that I did take ballet as a child. So my balance was impeccable. I've always praised dance and everything, so I had good balance. It's just I couldn't point my toes, and I just couldn't point my toes. But I've always had good balance, and so that's a big part of dancing is balance, being able to stand on your feet. And I lost my confidence in my balance, and I still have like confidence issues when it comes to balance, because I always feel as though my knee is going to give out, even though I really don't feel pain from my knee. Like, my knees will say, look, now you doing too much. Now you need to sit your ass down. And I'll be like, okay, I hear you. I'm listening. I hear you. Especially if it's a big performance, my knees, I have to like recondition myself. So that means I have to do regular like conditioning, like athletes do. I have to recondition myself to dance, so my knees can understand, like, look, y'all need to work. Okay, we working. So those knee injuries really put my dancing life into perspective, into how much I love to dance and how much I will never let anybody else talk me out of being who I am. And in dance, dancing has saved my life more than I can count, and I will always appreciate it for being there and for helping me get through so many tough times. Shout out to all my dancers out there. Shout out to all the dancers I mentioned, to all the people that helped shape me as a dancer. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Shelby, Faith, Shaquille. They really were like the catalyst. Oh, and my cousin's majorette dance team, I don't know all their names, okay? It was a whole bunch of black people. It was a black school. I loved it. But shout out to them as well for shaping the dancer I am today. And all the dancers that I post on my story for National Dance Day. Y'all can go check that out on my Instagram. They inspire me as well to continue to do it. Like, I love dance so much. It's such a passion of mine, and I pray that God continues to allow me to have this gift and continues to allow me to grow in it. So I just want to thank you guys so much for rocking with your girl. Look at that, man, I colored this. Look at this. Oh, I cannot wait for y'all to see the reveal. I did this. I did the hell out of this. Look at that. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all later. Peace.